Alright, Snookums, I'ma hit the hay now.
Good afternoon, folks. Our safety regulations require that you please dismount and place your weapons and arms in this tray.
Let's go beam it.
Those are hella arms, man. Is this even legal?
Well, you see, we got to protect our land from them goddamn liberals these days.
Do you even need that much firepower at the casino? Who's upping you here? Alfred?
Perfectly fine to me, son. I got right bare arms.
Alright, you two, I don't got all day. Ready to begin the game?
Damn right we are.
Oh yeah, yep, let's start. So what state are you visiting from?
Oh, me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm born and raised in Arizona. Go Sun Devils.
Oh, okay. So you're from the south.
Yeah, I know my eats from wets.
You mean east and west.
Yeah, boy, same thing. Where are you from, son?
The heart of Silicon Valley. I don't know if you know what Google is, but I work there.
You mean Goggle? Like swimwear company? I always wanted to swim.
No, the search engine tech company.
The only engine I need to know is my baby Harley Davidson 4-stroke 4-cylinder 7.2 horsepower engine.
Alright, bro, whatever. Is that electric?
Electric? Hell no. Runs on fine 94 gas.
But what about the everlasting environmental issues that are posed from emissions? You don't care about that?
Environmental, instrumental. I'm gonna die soon, so it don't matter me. Why do you think I hunt for a living?
Because you spent all your income on guns and can't afford a meal?
No, cause that's my hobby and breakfast, and lunch, and dinner too.
Don't you feel bad for the frolicking animals?
What you mean by that, boy?
Well, with our current state of the environment, we need a fully functional ecosystem that lets these animals eat grass and other plants in the forest by using photosynthesis and...
I don't care about no photosynthesization. I like shooting my gun.
Why are you so hyped about guns? Guns have a lot of lethal accidents. Have you seen the news?
I haven't seen no news and had no lethal accidents yet.
Do you know about the shootings that the news reports every week?
No, I don't.
Well, you should, because your kids could be the next victims.
Well, then, sure my kids teach us have guns to protect them.
No, the most effective way of preventing the school shooting is by improving mental health screening and treatment. This way, people can be diagnosed with issues and be helped appropriately before they result in crime and shooting.
We should have cops then. They'll protect our kids.
Maybe, but instead of putting guns into the hands of people, we should be taking them out of those with bad mental health and criminal history by using background checks, which will reduce firearm deaths by a projected 56.9%.
Where'd you get those numbers from?
I read it in a 2016 Lancet study.
You know what? That would invade my privacy. I read that the right to defend myself is a basic natural right that comes from the right to life, and how many gun control laws interfere with the ability of law-abiding citizens to defend themselves against violent criminals. In a newspaper section by some fancy professor Nelson Lund at George Mason University.
Larry, there are other ways of self-defense. You don't always need such an extreme gun.
That's why I don't only use that one. I have 72 more.
You know, for such a conservative, don't you listen to great people like Ronald Reagan? Even he said that AR-15s and military rifles should not be owned by civilians. It's just common sense.
That's my boy, except he never said none that.
All the news I've seen proves to me that heavy arms like ARs and grenade launchers aren't any good for the public anyway. In fact, I've read hella sources about how 97% of American voters and gun owners support universal background checks. It's common sense and cause no interference with you actually owning a gun.
Well, I can see some truth in that. But how gonna we prevent them hoodlums from illegally attaining guns? I still need large arms to protect me, family, my property, and my country. And I and almost 3 in 4 U.S. citizens agree on self-defense being a reason for owning guns.
By setting strict access to higher power weapons and making heavy arms banned in all states, it would make it more difficult for criminals to possess these ballistic munitions.
Wrong!
No,
You see here, sonny boy, criminals don't obey the law. Even if we made it less accessible and even banned, that would only hurt us civilians, and convicts will still find illegal and black market ways to obtain weapons. It'd make us easier targets and more undefended without equal arms for defense. Think about it, son. If guns are outlawed, then only outlaws will have guns.
you know, that's a good point. I see how that works in an illegal gun dealing market. They won't follow the law.
And teaching them children about how guns are bad just naturally starts their curiosity. Telling them stop playing with guns don't make them obey us.
How could you know that?
I read on the news that those younglings found a gun in their parents' room and took it to school for show and tell. And they end up accidentally killing his teacher and injuring 2 students with a 9mm handgun.
It doesn't make me feel safe sending my kids to school. You know, I saw a YouTube video about people who researched children's behavior around guns. They stated we put gates around swimming pools to keep children from drowning. We put safety caps on medications to keep children from poisoning themselves because children are naturally curious and impulsive, and that is why guns should have preventative measure too, like a safe or trigger lock.
It don't matter what we do with youths, and no laws is gonna stop them criminals, so why should we stop our gun use? We should embrace and teach them youngins to protect themselves from criminals. It's our Second Amendment. We have the right to bear arms to fight a strong militia.
If that's how deep you want to get, let's look at your people and the gun control that they created. In my history class, we learned about the KKK. And to summarize, Black Panther, Black rights militias that ran in the 1960s were seen as a threat. My professor, Adam Winkler, UCLA constitutional law professor, lectured that the KKK began as a gun control organization before the Civil War. Blacks were never allowed to own guns. So after the Civil War, there was constant pressure among white racists to keep guns out of hands of African Americans because they would rise up and revolt. For example, in Virginia, in response to Nat Turner's rebellion in 1831, a law was passed that prohibited free black people to keep or carry any firelock of any kind, any military weapon, or any powder, and all laws allowing free black people to possess firearms were repealed. And although back then this was a racist form of gun control, we can still implement safe, common sense gun control that provides equal access and treatments and laws to all US citizens. I think we have both made really interesting points.
Yeah, that's right. You've made some points that I never thought of before, and they ain't so bad.
You know what? Yeah, that's so true. I honestly wouldn't have really given in your arguments a chance before, but speaking face to face brought more views into my opinion. Thanks.
I just want you to know that I ain't no KKK member. I just love my country and my guns to protect it. I may have some different opinions than you, but now I understand why you think so fondly of it.
Yeah, and why don't we both agree on one thing?
Sure thing, old sport. What's it gonna be?
What is one thing we should implement that will allow more access to guns, but prevent gun deaths and accidents?
Ain't easy trying to find middle ground in such muddy water, Tom.
True, Larry. This is a complex issue, but maybe let's start simple. Let's say that we make a law that focuses on responsible gun ownership.
Alright, go on, son.
We can ensure that anyone who owns a gun has to pass a comprehensive background check without any exceptions.
Yeah, cause people can't fake those.
Yeah, things like criminal backgrounds, domestic violence, or mental health issues get flagged and are made ineligible for guns.
But what about my privacy?
Think of it kinda like a driver's license. People can drive, but you gotta show responsibility somehow.
I guess. And they can get my records from my license plate anyway. Wait, what about my collection?
Don't worry, we can make a new rule. Let's say that for higher powered weapons, there is an extra step of training. You need another special license that will require training and regular renewals to keep your skills in check. Or like a hunter pass to show that you can handle more than the basics.
What if I fail?
Womp womp.
Huh. Training. They'd definitely beat out a bad apple, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and for casual handgun users, we can be required to incorporate some safe storage mandates in the house, with an inspection to make sure that the guns are away from kids' grasp.
And you don't even infringe on my rights either.
Oh, and since technology is advancing all the time, we can make it so that guns only works in the use of certain people with an integrated chip that would cut down on hella thefts or unauthorized users like children.
Ain't against it. My rifles are mine. You just smart for an engineer.
What?
Get an idea and even protect my rights as a hunter. I mean, we literally worked around the Second Amendment.
Well, it's because I respect the value of life and safety.
You know, you ain't so bad, Tom.
You aren't so bad yourself, Larry. Now let's hope Congress sees the sense of this.